Honestly, I have been seeing it a lot. A lot of players have been banning it just because they don't want to see a Fizz or maybe even a Lilia in the jungle if they want that AP kick on their team. But now we have a Vladimir on the hands of Corrin. And this is going to be really scary, especially for a veteran to be playing a Vladimir.
Vladimir getting banned. They're taking away the junglers available right now. They're saying that because we have priority in the second rotation, we can take whatever we want and you won't be able to counter it.
I'm really surprised of what they can do here for the side of JD Esports. What is Weiba gonna pick? Is he gonna go back to his default, the Aatrox that he always uses? Yeah.
I think Aatrox is okay, right? But you know, oftentimes we see Aatrox be most effective if you at least have at least one utility.
That's true.
Or two utility, but it does look like that they have a very hungry team already. Like Vladimir needs farm, Fiora needs farm. Wukong is an option. We have to remember that Weiba played a lot of Wukongs in the past. But Fizz, why not?
They banned the Vi? Okay, yeah. If ever somebody's gonna be picking something like that, okay, that's good.
Counter pick for the jungler?
Yeah.
What?
At least now they have the Varus. That's okay.
Yeah, but the thing here is Thunder. It's also a takeaway, right? Like Weiba plays this champion as well. So I guess this time you have to play fire with fire. Sorry, play fire
with water.
Yeah.
wait, are we gonna see it?
In the Nilah jungle?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, if ever they have somebody here, the only reason why Nilah isn't getting picked anymore in the jungle is because her wave clear has been lessened. But once she hits the late game, her damage is gonna be crazy.
I'm excited to see this.
She doesn't have
but
a
I'm
lot,
scared
though.
as well.
She doesn't have a lot going for her in the early game. That's the only problem.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I'm super scared of this. They will be heavily relying on attack to make plays for them. Juju as well. And that's okay, right? Like, that's where they're strongest. One item should be able to at least improve the damage here by the Varus. But I really am... I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm scared about this Nilah pick. If this ever becomes successful, RIP rank games. If it doesn't get... If it ends up a flop, then sure, okay, we save the rank games, but I guess my sanity will just explode.
If this works out, it's gonna be perfect. Just because of the fact that she does so much damage, especially in the late game, and make that AoE too. So
I know
it's just crazy. But if it reaches that point, though, that's gonna be where we go for it.
Are you ready? Saying the ultimate Nilah apotheosis.
It's gonna be real apotheosis.
Apotheosis, yep.
Oh, man.
That's... have you ever heard it said on broadcast, though? Even on LoL PC? I feel they never did.
Yeah.
But sure.
It's just mostly a knockup that everybody calls it a knockup because apotheosis is such a long name and a lot of syllables.
How many syllables? Apotheosis. 5 syllables?
5
okay,
syllables for one ultimate. Oh, man.
Exactly. Oh man, and yeah, sure. And again for Nilah, it's often a champion that was made for the Dragon Lane, but here in Wild Rift, we do have a different moveset, right? Almost all champions can be played in the jungle. The content creators have been playing the A to Z, and it's a lot easier to do it here in Wild Rift, right? Like the champions A to Z, completing everything. So it's a more standard draft overall for JDG. But again, the surprise factor coming from JD Esports.
Yeah.
How effective will the surprise be, really?
Yeah. This is one of the problems, though. Look at how hard it is for them to be able to clear out the waves. It's going to be a bit later, but it's going to be good. As long as Juju would be able to carry everybody on his back in the early game, this would be good.
He's definitely going to be the centerpiece of the early game. Corrin, though, however, actually, let's kind of read this. Juju picked Xayah and made very good damage, 32% in the last game, and this is really the Xayah meta. I'm really thrilled of having Xayah because I think I saw Xayah once in the. It was even a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fight happened top lane. But again, as my point is, one of the things that everybody liked, even during season 1, I think, I don't know if that was us casting that game when we saw Zaya, but that was a really exciting time because it's not meta. But now that it's meta, it's really, I'm really happy to see it. It's always going to be a welcome sight to see a Zaya meta together with a Rakan.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, it's not even together with a Rakan, right? Like, they're separated. The only time that I think in WRL 2 I haven't seen them together. So I guess things have changed.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. But now riposte perfectly timed. Xiaoji was stunned. And right now, they're not even afraid in taking the side. Look at that, right? Not a lot of damage coming in from Weiba, but as long as he survives in this early game, it's gonna be good.
Yep. And again, it's all about farming for the late game. If you're Weiba, yeah, sure, you don't have the kill threat to be able to scare off your opponent, but being able to do that and farm some minions and XP as well on the top side. It's what we call, I'm helping you push. Don't worry, I'm not taking your resources.
This is where the thing is for JDG, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Weiba is going to have a hard time in the early game, which is something that is different from the first 2 games, right? Weiba was relevant during the early game in the first 2 games. So this is something that they can use in the first 2 objectives.
Exactly. Again, every arsenal will be put to test, especially with the situation that both this team faces right now. It's a do or die. And you kind of want to have that leg up, especially if you're JDG, right? Like, this is the second series that JDG has played. And we have to remember they're already 0-1, 0-2 actually in terms of game score, because they were just annihilated by Thunder Talk the last time out. And so if you kind of want to still have a very good momentum, especially in week number 1, this is a must win for JDG.
Especially for a team that reached the playoffs during season 1, this is something that they would want to have. Okay, look at that body slam, explosive cast stops them from doing anything, and they even have the chain of corruption. Tak is just a monster this game.
He is a Gragas god. A Gragon, I would say. Like, he dodged the dash and he used explosive cast to disengage.
Look at this. And even Trace Esports, even without the gank coming in from Weiba, what they're doing is just making the top lane as confident as they can so that Lee Sao might be able to get some damage before this objective comes in.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Or it's also funneling some
farming.
Gold. Yeah. Exactly. Funneling some gold over to your carry jungler, right? Shared XP, shared resources.
That is so funny. That is so funny. If ever that's really the case. They're just giving Weiba everything so that he would have advantage come the late game.
I mean, he should. That's the play of Trace Esports, right? Like, it's super centric towards their carry jungler, and their carry jungler will definitely be the centerpiece of their late game. And so it makes a lot of sense to try to funnel as much resources to him as possible.
Does he get the Bloodthirster? Okay, he actually gets the Bloodthirster before the objective comes out. Objectives are in, and item hasn't been completed yet by Xiaoji, but they got the Rift Herald first.
Yep. 5 minutes. This is a make or break actually, because you kind of want to slow the tempo down. Chains of Corruption missing its mark. And then going back, if you're a Weiba, you kind of want to take away this Rift Herald away from your opponent because it gives a lot of tempo to JDG.
They can go for Juju though. Juju is out of position. That's going to be it. Apotheosis was used, and that is not enough. Barry is going to be there. Explosive cast was used, and this is going to be the turnaround. JDG Esports a bit too late for Payby, and his Fate Seal wasn't able to get the mark. And Trace Esports is just going to be pushing them back.
Oh no, they went and overgreeded. Yeah, sure, they were able to get the Dragon Laner, but in return, that's 2 kills plus 1 Rift Herald, and gifting it to Weiba, and plus solo gold plate for Mr. RIP Rank Games.
Gives them the Ocean Drake. Oh my, are they going to be able to get there at the right time? They're going to be going onto the back line. They got it. Lee Sao is going to be the fight, and Juju was able to take it in the end. Weiba is just trying his best to deal some damage, but it's still not enough at this point. And JDG wasn't able to get anything out of that.
Gotta love it. Trace Esports, 2 objectives out of 2. And again, that's the Ocean Dragon as the first dragon. And you all know what is next on the menu, right? So once you have the Ocean Dragon as your first dragon, you can threaten the Ocean Soul by the third dragon. And you know what Ocean Soul is good at? You know, sustaining double marksman compositions. Dude, Weba with an Ocean Soul, that's unstoppable.
That is just crazy. Now, look at this replay.
Yeah, looking at that replay once again, that's a 50-50. And it's kind of anticlimactic that we saw the piercing arrow complete everything. But sure, fine, Juju was still the hero that was needed. Chain of Corruption being used for disengage is also key as well. That's one thing to note whenever playing as a Varus. It's not always an engage tool. You can even use it as a disengage tool, similar to the impact of explosive casts.
Yep, and so far it has been working, and I'm really loving how, even though that most of the team here, most of the time, whenever we talk about Trace Esports, people always talk about Weba, but we always forget about the fact that Tak and Juju are a monster duo too in the bot lane.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember one of their players. I think it was Wind that was also a very good Dragon laner, but Juju's performance right now is kind of reassuring, right? That Trace Esports has made the right decision in the Dragon lane setup that they have. Do they even have a sub? I believe they do. Their sub laner is a mid lane. It's Yusa, so Wind is no longer with the team.
Okay. That's why right now Trace Esports has been doing really, honestly, doing really a lot of great work here. And now, as we said, early game is where Trace Esports wait. That's gonna be a Chains of Corruption, and together with that, it's gonna be the Stand United. Barry was able to survive because of it. Here comes the turnaround, but Doki was a bit too advanced, and they didn't get the kill because of that.
Was that a preemptive flash coming from Juju because he knew that Doki will go ahead and use the Grand Entrance onto him? He was so quick.
Go in, Grand Entrance will get quickness onto the backline. They're gonna go to Juju, and they have the Hex ultimate of the Apotheosis was able to pull them back. JDG are just gonna go and try to deal damage, but it is not working.
Weba is the true carry of this team. 300 health on this tower. Done and dusted in an instant. And Trace Esports in the lead right now. 8 minutes and 40.
Weba is making it work though. Or rather, Trace Esports is making this Nyla pick work.
Yeah, they're really a very good team that plays around their jungler so well. And again, JDG on the back foot once again. Hopefully, I'm hoping that we see a replay, right? Because I kind of want to see if there was a preemptive flash by Juju just to avoid the all-in coming from Doki. And Doki, again, is a very good recon player. We saw his impact during game number 1. But this time around, okay, look at the gold graph. Gold graph spells Weba. Weba farms everything, and Weba is ahead of everyone.
Weba getting a lot of gold is not a good sign. Once he gets the he gets the Bloodthirster, and once he gets more crit items, that is just gonna hurt most of the members of JDG. And this is gonna be the problem. They weren't able to make use of the time in where Weba should not be relevant.
Yeah, I love to see it, right? It's Weba also not really hitting his mark when it comes to the fate seals and all that. And also, if you were Corrin, like, you have the Sanguine pool to evade almost everything that could go your way. And this is why we are super scared of the Vladimir being a meta champion, because it's just so hard to deal with.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a lot of it, even if they nerf a lot of the damage coming in from the Vladimir is still going to be a threat just because of how the meta works right now. It's going to be easy for the Vladimir to just get into the late game as long as he wants. That's why, honestly, the only thing that could really shut down a Vladimir is a lot of CC.
2.1k gap in the jungle gold. Kind of expected because it is a Shen, but that is still 2 items completed.
Starting it out, Doki was pushed back, used the Grand Entrance to go away, and now JDG could potentially contest this.
If they get this, it will be very hard by the third dragon mark, so it's kind of a make or break for JDG now.
Yeah, gonna be starting it. They're gonna be waiting for it, waiting for the Chains of Corruption for Juju. They're still not gonna start. JDG, what they're doing is just distracting the members of Trace Esports to the objective before they try to fight back. They go in, that's gonna be a knockoff onto Tak. Very, very tanky Gargoyle. Would be able to get a lot of armor, and that's why Tak was confident on taking that.
Yeah, not often that we see the Gargoyle Enchant. Good callback, good throwback, and good decision to buy the item.
Yeah, now JDG, what they can do is just to get more pressure on the other sides of the map. Pushing this mid lane could really help the slow push before the objective comes in.
And again, them setting the wave, but here it comes Corn. There could be an imminent fight here.
Explosive cast before the dragon comes in. They are going to be able to taunt away, and look at this backline. They have one face shield. They got the damage. They got one onto the backline. Tak is going to be dead. JDG running away from
Corn is alive.
They have the grand challenge. They have the riposte. They are not going to be able to do much damage, except they're going to be taking the dragon, even if they got the kill in the end. It's crazy how Trace Esports still got the space even though they lost Tak during that fight. Oh man. Yeah, this is one thing that I've seen during this fight is that the explosive cast was the demise of Tak even before this fight even started.
Yeah, and as the replay has shown, Exit Ultimatum being used here, the Mountain Dragon once again is the vital key here, the vital prize. In the end, it was Weba again securing that Mountain Dragon, and that Mountain Dragon is massive because again, they can threaten the Ocean Soul, and that's the third dragon in a row possibly at 15-minute mark. I mean, what they can do, what JDG could do, is to go for the Baron, but you see the damage of Weba, it's just so absurd.
It might be a bit too late now, and Doki, look at the damage onto him. Apotheosis, he was forced to use his stasis. And now that damage from Weba is going to be a scary force, and they have to think about that every time.
Tower on the top side, close
They're gonna
to
take
getting
this.
down. Oh, double AD carry setup. This baby Baron is just going to melt.
Yeah, especially that Weba is already so fed. The damage coming in from this Nyla is enough to take this. Oh man, they got the Baron out of that. Doki could go in. A bit too late for them. Fate Seal's not going to hit anybody. But on the back line, he was able to survive. Corn was able to turn things around, and Weba is just hammering down on everybody in front. JDG has nowhere to go. Lemon tried his best, but his best again is not enough.
Oh man, Trace Esports is on a rampage, led by Weba's Nyla. They're still not stopping. They are knocking down the mid lane. They want to end this as fast as possible.
Knocking down the turrets. That's going to be one of the CCs that they could have. Apotheosis was used to pull back Xiaoji, but they can still take down the tower in the bot lane.
Never mind, 2-for-2 special, and then they can go full reset just in time for the soul to respawn. And what a way to dominate JDG in the third game. I did say that, hey, you know what, I don't want stomps to happen by third game, but this I will allow because it wasn't a stomp from minute number one, right? Like they had to go through challenges. They had to go through the weakest of phase of the Nyla. But when Trace Esports found the stability that they needed, oh man, this Nyla jungle can really work wonders.
Yeah, the only problem too also for JDG is that they weren't able to get their timing right. They had their timing in the early game, but they weren't able to make use of the Shen and also the Camille combo.
Top side though, completing the trifecta of the inhibitor towers here. An engage could happen still for Lemon, but you see the damage!
Weba used the Veil, no damage whatsoever is gonna come through that Veil. Doki's gonna fall down with the Chain of Corruption. Was able to use the stasis, but on the backline they got some damage. Corn is gonna fall down too. JDG might be able to make things work here, but Lisa, the damage from the Nexus almost kills him.
Yeah, but the arrow to return a kill from Trace Esports was so on point. I want to see the soul though. I want to see the Ocean Soul.
Please,
no.
please
Take
the Ocean Soul.
With a double marksman composition, that's good night. That's night. And I know that JDG knows this, right? Like, sure, Trace Esports went to maximize the Baron buff, and there is still an opportunity for JDG to come back into this game, especially with inhibitors respawning after a couple of minutes. But again, it's just so hard to win against a soul-empowered team. And you look at the goal lead as well. Trace Esports is well in the lead, 10k.
Oh man, 10k gold on a Nyla jungle. This is not the advantage that you want to give this type of carry on the hands of Trace Esports, especially that Weba is the one holding it.
True. Oh no, Doki. they've been trying the combo of Doki being the Shen deliverer, but it hasn't been so effective.
It's gonna be real hard though. Whenever they start the fight, they don't have the damage that could come through on that combo. That's why it hasn't been successful.
They're starting it now. I want to see this so bad. Level 15 to level 13, dude.
Oh, they're taking it
stop
down.
it.
They want to stop Weiba as fast as they could. Now they want to take the fight, and now this is going to be the soul coming in the inside. JDG started the fight. Low HPs on the members of Trace, but they don't have the right target. Weiba is going to be the perfect target, and that is Xiaoji being hammered by Weiba, and look at the damage coming into their side. Tak can't even die on the hands of Barry. Uses the question mark together with it, and this is game. Trace Esports takes the game against JDG, loses game 1, but takes 2 games against JDG.
I would do the same. I would show off the Pengu question mark. Like, his damage was not even felt for the entirety of that game. On the other hand, Nyla was whipping people left and right, and his damage was absurd. I guess it's another MVP for Mr. Weiba.
Oh man, Weiba making a Nyla jungler work. That must be because JDG